The moment didn't feel like it was meant to go viral. It didn't look staged, overly produced, or carefully scripted the way many idol clips tend to be. It was simple, almost too simple. A kitchen, a quiet atmosphere, the soft clatter of utensils, and one unmistakable presence. Jungkook focused on cooking. But what truly turned this into something unforgettable wasn't just what he was doing. It was who was watching. Because standing nearby, visibly caught off guard, was Jimin, and his reaction said everything. At first glance, you might wonder, why would something as ordinary as cooking create such a strong reaction? After all, cooking isn't exactly rare among idols. Many fans have seen behind-the-scenes clips, live streams, or variety content where members prepare meals. But this felt different. The energy in the room shifted in a way that wasn't loud, but deeply noticeable. Jimin didn't just glance over casually. He paused. He watched. And then something changed in his expression that fans immediately picked up on. Was it surprise? Admiration? Or something more layered? That's the question that's been circulating ever since this moment surfaced. Because if you slow it down, if you really pay attention, you'll notice that Jimin's reaction wasn't exaggerated or played up for entertainment. It felt real. And that authenticity is exactly what made it so powerful. Jungkook, on the other hand, seemed completely immersed in what he was doing. There was a calm confidence in his movements. The way he handled the ingredients, the precision in his timing, even the way he stood. It didn't feel like someone casually trying something new. It felt practiced, intentional, almost like he had something to prove, or perhaps nothing to prove at all. And that contrast is where things get interesting, because Jimin is not easily impressed. Over the years, fans have seen him alongside Jungkook in countless situations on stage, during rehearsals, in chaotic variety show settings, and in quiet, personal moments. He knows Jungkook better than most. So when someone like Jimin reacts this way, it naturally raises questions. What did he see in that moment that made him stop and stare? Was it the skill? The unexpected seriousness? Or was it something deeper, something emotional that fans can only speculate about? It's worth considering how their dynamic has evolved over time. From playful teasing to moments of genuine care, Jimin and Jungkook have always shared a connection that feels both familiar and unpredictable. There's a comfort there, but also a sense that they continue to discover new sides of each other, even after years together. And maybe that's what this moment represents. Because watching someone you think you know reveal a different side of themselves can be surprisingly impactful. It can shift your perception, even slightly. It can make you pause and reconsider everything you thought you understood about them. For Jimin, that pause was visible. Fans were quick to react, of course. Social media lit up with interpretations, edits, slowed-down clips, and emotional commentary. Some called it a heart-melting moment. Others described it as unexpectedly intense. But beneath all the excitement, there was a common thread. People felt something. Why? Because authenticity is rare. In a world where so much content is filtered, edited, and curated, a moment like this stands out precisely because it doesn't try to be anything more than it is. It's quiet, it's subtle, but it lingers. And perhaps that's why it resonates so deeply. Think about it. How often do we see genuine surprise in someone's face? Not the exaggerated kind meant for cameras, but the kind that happens instinctively, before a person has time to react or adjust. That's what made Jimin's expression so compelling. It wasn't just what he was seeing, it was how he was processing it. There's also something to be said about Jungkook's presence in that moment. He wasn't performing. He wasn't trying to entertain. He was simply focused. And that kind of focus can be captivating, especially when it reveals a side of someone that isn't always in the spotlight. It makes you wonder, how much do we really know about the people we admire? Do we only see what's shown to us? Or are there layers that only reveal themselves in moments like this? And if that's the case, then what other moments have we missed? It's easy to get caught up in the bigger, louder highlights, the performances, the milestones, the headlines. But sometimes, it's these quieter, more personal glimpses that leave the strongest impression. They feel real in a way that's hard to replicate. For longtime fans, This moment might feel like a reminder of why they connected with them in the first place. Not because of perfection, but because of authenticity. Not because of grand gestures, but because of genuine emotion. And for newer viewers, it might spark curiosity. Who are they beyond what we see? What kind of relationship allows for this kind of unspoken understanding? And why does it feel so meaningful, even to those watching from the outside? These questions don't necessarily have clear answers. And maybe that's part of the appeal. The ambiguity leaves room for interpretation, for personal connection, for emotional investment. But let's go deeper, because this is where the moment starts to feel even more layered than it first appears. There's something quietly powerful about witnessing growth in real time. Not the kind that's announced with awards or headlines, but the kind that shows up in everyday actions. Cooking, in this context, might seem small, but it's not just about preparing food. It's about independence, care, intention. It's about taking the time to do something with your own hands, something that requires patience and attention. And when Jungkook stands there, focused and calm, it subtly tells a story of someone who has grown into himself in ways that go beyond the stage. Now look at Jimin again in that same moment. There's a softness in the way he watches. Not just surprise, but something warmer. Something reflective. It's almost as if he's not just seeing Jungkook cooking. He's seeing the passage of time, the changes, the evolution of someone he's known for years. Have you ever had that experience? Where you suddenly notice how much someone has changed, even if you've been with them the whole time. It hits you all at once, in a quiet moment, and you can't help but pause. That's what this feels like. And maybe that's why it resonates so deeply with fans. Because even though we're watching from the outside, the emotion feels familiar. It taps into something universal, the idea of growing alongside someone, of witnessing their journey, of being surprised by them even when you think you've seen everything. But there's another layer here that's worth exploring. Why does it matter so much to people? Why does a simple reaction spark thousands of comments, theories, and emotional responses? Part of it comes down to connection. Fans don't just watch, they invest. They observe patterns, dynamics, small details that others might overlook. So when something feels different, it stands out immediately. And this moment felt different, not because it was dramatic, but because it was subtle in a way that felt honest. There's no script for how to react when you're genuinely surprised. There's no time to think about angles or audience perception. It just happens. And that's exactly what makes it so compelling to watch. You start to wonder what was going through Jimin's mind in that exact second. Was he thinking about how much Jungkook has changed? Was he remembering earlier days, when things were different? Or was he simply caught off guard by a side of Jungkook he hadn't seen expressed in this way before? And then there's another question. What did Jungkook feel in that moment? Did he notice Jimin watching him like that? Did it affect him at all? Or was he too focused on what he was doing? These are the kinds of questions that don't have clear answers, but they keep people engaged. They invite interpretation, discussion, and emotional investment. And that's exactly why moments like this continue to circulate long after they first appear. Because they're not just watched, they're felt. If you think about it, this is what separates memorable content from everything else. It's not about how loud or flashy something is. It's about whether it creates a connection. And this moment does. It invites you to slow down, to look closer, to pay attention to the details that are easy to miss. The way Jimin's eyes linger just a little longer than expected. The way Jungkook moves with quiet confidence, completely in his element. The unspoken understanding that seems to exist between them, even in silence. All of it adds up to something that feels bigger than the moment itself. And maybe that's the real reason people can't stop talking about it. Because it reminds us that sometimes, the most meaningful moments aren't the ones that are meant to impress. They're the ones that simply happen, and in doing so, reveal something real. So now let's turn it back to you. What did you see when you watched that moment? Did you focus on Jungkook's actions, or Jimin's reaction? Did it feel like a simple interaction, or something more significant? And why do you think it stayed with you after it ended? There's no right or wrong answer here. That's the beauty of it. Everyone brings their own perspective, their own emotions, their own interpretations. But one thing is clear, this wasn't just another clip. It was a reminder that even in a world full of content, authenticity still stands out. A reminder that growth can be seen in the smallest actions. And a reminder that sometimes, the most powerful reactions are the ones that aren't spoken out loud. If this moment made you pause, even for a second, then it did something important. And if you enjoy exploring moments like this, the ones that feel quiet but meaningful, simple but layered, then you're in the right place. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think Jimin was really feeling? And did Jungkook know the impact of that moment? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the moments everyone's talking about, but not everyone truly understands.